Hey Eric.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. How you doing tonight?
Good. A little warmer than normal, but that's all right. It's
Yep,
been it's been nice.
in the great state of Texas,
Yes.
the large state of
The
Texas.
the large state of Texas, says the guy from Alaska. Huh.
That's true. That's
Um,
true. Texas is much smaller than Alaska.
uh, no, traveling for work, that's always fun.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's always good to get out, but I am ready to go back home.
Tomorrow, tomorrow. How
Yep,
about
yep.
how was your last weekend?
In general, it was fine. So I mentioned we've been putting in a new shower, and so the shower
Is
is
it
now
done
all
done?
completely not done. It's completely finished, except for there was one fixture. So it's a shower. There's a shower head, and then there's the shower wand that goes with it.
Yeah,
Well, the attachment to the wall where the wand goes uh, was missing. We had to, or did wasn't the right part, so we had to order a new part.
interesting.
So there's a hole in the wall where that goes. So like no one can really shower in it unless we want to stuff a towel in there to keep the water out from going behind the tile,
But the
which
glass got
the glass is all in. The
completed
glass
and
looks
installed.
gorgeous. Yeah, it looks fantastic, and I'm very excited about it. Um, but I need this one last part because there's always one
You
last
kind of got to
thing.
plug the hole in the wall before you can
Yeah.
actually use the shower.
So But because we finished the room, I painted the shower this weekend. So not obviously not the tile, the walls where they haven't been painted since the last time. They haven't been painted for a long time. So
Okay.
I spent part of my weekend painting, and every time I paint, I remember I hate painting. Why am I doing this? Why don't I just hire somebody to come paint? And in my head, it's because it's such a small area. But the problem is it's lots of corners and lots of edges you don't want to mess up,
Right.
right? And I also painted the door trim because the door trim had over the years
Yeah.
been used by children for the last,
Sure.
20 years. So, anyways,
No,
so
no.
it,
I painted my front door, and the
yes,
problem with having
yes,
a nicely painted front door is that now the trim that surrounds the door looks
less
like,
nice
oh, that
looking.
might need like a coat of white paint.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Well, I have white paint if you need
Oh,
some
it's not a matter
for
of have.
trim.
I have the matching trim paint in the
Oh,
garage.
okay, okay.
No, no. This
It's
is not
just
a it is not a materials issue.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
Well, that's good.
uh, other than that, my two oldest girls are coming home this week for the Fourth of July week from college, so it'll be fun to see
Fun,
them.
fun.
One is actually home now, and I'm missing her. She got here in yesterday, so I will see her tomorrow night when I get home. But
Awesome.
very excited to have all the kids around.
Oh, that's very cool.
So, how
That's
about how
very
about
cool.
you?
Well, so Saturday was a super long day for me because we did a family road trip up to Tacoma to see my brother's family
Mm,
for the day, kind of a celebration there, which was fun. But like we, sort of didn't quite make it to the party was at 2 o'clock, and I think we made it there at like 2:15. Traffic was pretty bad going from Olympia to Tacoma at least. So that was nice. And then we went and stayed at their house for a couple hours and chatted and had a good time. And then you know couldn't
nice.
stay that long because then it's a 3.5 hour drive uh, back home.
Hmm.
So, but that was good. That was a good Saturday. And then I think Sunday was just mostly just hanging around. I feel like it was raining, or I I, I did a little bit
Yeah,
of stuff, but
it
nothing
was a little
nothing major.
damp this weekend.
Yeah, which is problematic because um, we really need to cut the hay, get the hay baled up. So I have all the equipment sitting at my place. And then, oh yeah, that was one of the things we did Sunday was we tried to hook the mower up just in case the weather was good, so that my wife could possibly mow this week while I'm gone, and then I could rake and bale this coming weekend. But it needed a part for the tractor, and neither of the sort of farm supply places had it. So I actually had to go in. I think I went in at lunch on Monday to the tractor store and was like, "Do you have this part?" And I literally, it's a pin, and I'm like, "I need this, and it can't be a quarter inch longer. It can't, and
Mm.
not a generic pin." Uh, and the guy like pulled up a exploded, parts version of the tractor that I have, and he's like, "This?" I'm like, "Yes, 080 or something, like whatever the part was." He's like, "Oh, let me see." And he turns out they had it. I'm like, "Thank you."
Oh, nice.
Uh, but so got the mower all worked out, or all hooked up, and mowed 20-foot swath just to sort of make sure everything was working before I hopped on a plane. Now,
Yeah.
whether the weather is cooperating and will actually let her mow tomorrow is an open question.
Mm.
We'll see. I might be
Okay.
mowing tomorrow. We'll see. It's all weather dependent. It's all weather
Yeah,
dependent.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
kind of
of course.
gotta do that. So anyway,
All
so
right.
hopefully, I mean, regardless of what happens after I land, my next few days are going to be very busy.
Mm.
But that's okay.
Yeah, I have a, a remainder of a bathroom to paint, and I need to find some time to go down to that uh, door handle store. What was your buddy's name?
It's Chone, as in change owner.
Right, right. But
Oh,
the
Tony,
guy,
Tony, Tony.
Tony,
It was
Tony.
Tony,
So I got to go down
Tony.
and hang out with Tony at Chone and
Yes.
get a couple doorknobs for because my new doors are finally getting put in July 15th and 16th, when I will
Exciting.
not be here or not be at home as well.
Again.
I'm like, huh. But I'm like, well, hopefully you can't screw up doors, at least not too poorly. So no
Have you heard
comment from
my
you.
complaints for the
No
last six
comment from
months?
you.
It's all
uh,
good. It's all good.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, my friend. How about a topic? What'd you bring tonight?
All right. So I don't know if we talked about SparkCat, but now there is SparkKitty,
Okay.
and it's a mobile piece of malware that if steals photos, and it targets
Oh,
iPhone and Android users. And so SparkKitty, and as was the case with its older sibling SparkCat, it harvests images from a device's gallery in the hopes of locating sensitive content, such as screenshots of cryptocurrency wallet seed phrases,
yeah.
because that's what you do. You screenshot stuff, right? Apparently, the Android app has more than 10,000 installations from the Google Play Store before it was removed. And let's see, there were several
Yeah.
iOS applications that I don't see the numbers though in the article. Anyways, so the whole point of this thing is it's someone who's interested in a victim's crypto assets. So they're hoping they can scan, they probably have an AI or something to scan your photo library for uh, cryptocurrency seed phrases or anything along those
Something that
lines.
looks like a wallet.
Yeah. So, anyways, not a super long one. I just thought it was interesting. SparkKitty is looking to exfil data from your device by scanning your photos and not looking for what you might think a photo scanning thing might look
Right.
for, compromising photos, just more for, hey, can we find cryptocurrency bits and pieces so we can steal your monies? So,
Man, I have to believe that that's such a low probability. I mean, obviously, all you need is one, right? I mean, one in 1,000, one in 10,000, one in whatever that actually has a little bit of money is makes it worth it, I'm sure. But like how many, when I think about what are the textual things that are in our photo library, it's
I got,
recipes,
yeah,
like
I
so
got
many recipes.
screenshots
So
of
yeah,
all sorts of things. Yeah,
yeah,
recipes or letters, or I take a picture of something because I have to mail a PDF. I just take a picture of it and then save it as a PDF
I do that. Yep, of
and
course,
mail it wherever it has to go.
of
You
course.
have to sign this, whatever. So,
The
yeah,
photo is the new scanner.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
anyways, it doesn't really say what apps you should download or get rid of. Google Play has removed theirs. Some have slipped through Apple's process. Apple has kicked them out as well. But just another reminder, watch out for what kind of apps you're downloading off the App Store because you never know what the no
Hasn't
name
Apple made it
apps might have.
easier to grant access to your photo library? It used to be you had to do like a kind of a dance
Yeah,
to
you still
grant
have to do
grant
that.
access.
So well, and that's the thing related to like vibe coding and whatnot. You can build an app that like build me an app that will create funny photo filters, uh, and then you go install, and then you go build your Trojan horse in the background and pass it off as a funky photos app or something. It squeezes through the App Store process. People start, oh yeah, sure, take access to my photo library because you want to, I don't know. You could think of anything and just
There's
have an
lots of photo.
AI code it up for you and get it through the App Store process.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get worse and more exciting. So there you go. That's the article I brought tonight. Is
All right.
SparkKitty.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, mine is a little bit of a what would you say? Not redacting, rebuttaling the. There was some articles and stuff like that about a 16 billion credential leak last week,
Yeah.
and
And it was purported to be all brand new stuff, and it was go change all your passwords everywhere, even if you use the password manager, because it's all in this. I saw the uh, what Little Red Hen, or no, what's the oh, what's the fairy tale where the
crying
comes the
wolf.
cry wolf? No, yeah, something
Um,
like, yeah, the boy who cried wolf. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so
yeah,
there was a lot of that last week.
yeah, exactly. But this article that I'll put in here is a bleeping computer article that talked about the fact that it wasn't really a new breach. I mean, this was basically a aggregation of a number of different password dumps that have been available online for um, a good while, possibly years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a data breach or not a new data breach at least, and the websites involved were not recently compromised. But info stealers have become very common, and threat actors they are releasing. The quote here is that threat actors release massive compilations for free on Telegram, Pastebin, and Discord to gain reputation among the cybercrime community. So there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of similarly linked archives, and so this is basically somebody took and compiled these together into a larger data set and then made it available online. So
Mm-hmm.
there have been historically similar collections released in the past. There was a 2024 leak of over 9 billion records, and collection one, it says, contained over 22 million unique passwords. At some point, I forget when the collection one was out, but essentially, this article is gives a little bit more context and examples of other things, but kind of comes back down to what are the recommendations, and they have a nice set of recommendations that follow same sort of stuff we've talked about for years. But
Right.
a couple things. If you're concerned that a info stealer might be present on your computer, I'm quoting here, scan your device with a trusted antivirus program before changing any passwords. Otherwise, whatever you change might immediately be stolen.
Right.
So that's a good key thing. And then, obviously using a different password for every site. Ideally, they're complex enough that you would use a password manager to keep them organized. And then, obviously, two-factor authentication. Ideally, with an authenticator app, not SMS two-factor codes. And of course, many password managers do this automatically, like 1Password, and avoid SMS for two-factor, as those are vulnerable to SIM swapping attacks and other situations like that. So,
Yep.
that's the recommendations, basics. But there was much ado about not as much last week.
Right.
So that was kind of the thing I brought.
Nice.
So there you go. How about
Cool.
something fun tonight?
All right. So my something fun I saw last week at some point. I saw it was an Instagram reel, I think, that was showing SpaceX. We've seen SpaceX, and they've launched the rockets up, and then they come back down and they land and they get clawed, and they land as opposed to crash into the ocean, and they're not disposable, they're reusable, right? Well, that's
Right.
pretty much been all SpaceX we've seen forever. An occasional mention of a few other um, private space companies. Well, guess who just created a rocket, a reusable rocket that does the whole launch and land? None other
Who?
than Honda, the car
Honda.
maker. The Japanese car maker Honda appears to be throwing its hat into the ring for, hey, here's a reusable rocket. So there's a really cool video you can watch where the
That's exciting.
company the company has uh, surprised the aerospace community. They launched a prototype reusable rocket. It only flew to about 900 feet, and then landed it only 15 inches away from its designated target. And so here's a quote from Honda's global CEO. We are pleased that Honda has made yet another step forward in our research on reusable rockets with this successful completion of a launch and landing test. We believe that rocket research is a meaningful endeavor that leverages Honda's technological strength. Honda will continue to take on new challenges. So go Honda. I just thought it was a cool video
That's
and a cool,
awesome.
hey, someone else is figuring out, hey, we could do reusable rockets. That's kind of cool. So there you go. That's my something fun.
That's fantastic. It would be good to have
More competition is
more
always better.
competition, more competition in the space launching
I I would
region.
like more. I'm all for more computation too.
Computation is good. But that's okay. We're going to have enough GPUs, or AI is going to burn enough GPU cycles that
Yeah, yeah.
we'll need
It's
more
gonna
space
make
rockets.
cryptocurrency's use of GPUs, you know, a raindrop. Go AI.
Use a thinking model to have that
Yeah,
to explain how to do a 2 plus 2.
yeah. Uh,
Anyway, okay. Well, that is very cool, Eric. That's very cool.
mm-hmm. I see yours is
Go Honda. Mine is
related.
also semi-space related, because this is a James Webb. Feels like it's been a while since we talked about the James Webb Space Telescope.
Mm-hmm.
And it says after 3 years. Has it been 3 years since the JWST was launched? Because
Wow.
that was one of our something funds, evidently 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
when it
Like,
launched.
and a bunch kind of leading up to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like, anyway. Um, but this says, so the opening sentence here is, after 3 years of helping astronomers investigate known planets beyond the solar system, the JWST has discovered its first new planet. So the extrasolar planet, or exoplanet, has been designated TWA 7b And it also happens to have the lowest mass of any planet that has been directly imaged beyond the solar system, with an estimated mass of around 100 times that of Earth, or zero point 0.3 times the mass of Jupiter. So it's 10 times lighter than any exoplanet previously directly imaged. So there's a really cool image in the article here, and I'll try and use that as the chapter art. But uh, it's super blown up. But it's actually discovered in a debris ring around a low mass star. It's about 111 light years from Earth, but it's a super young star, estimated to be just a few million years old. So, the sun is, which is, a quote middle-aged star, is around 4.6 billion years old. So this is a very young star, and the planet is it's super light, and it's in the debris ring. So they didn't say anything in here, but in my head, it's like, ooh, is it still in the process of accreting mass? I mean, it's interesting. I don't know, as a pocket scientist or something like that. Or anyway, very, very cool. Amazing that we can actually get like direct images of exoplanets these days. That's pretty fabulous. So anyway, that's my something fun.
That's a super cool picture.
Right?
All right, well, I know we're traveling. It's late. I'm actually
Yeah.
tired and I'm having some audio issues, so hopefully the audio still comes through fine. But
It'll be fine.
yeah.
It'll be
Have a good
fine.
night, John.
I'll talk to you later, Eric. Bye.
We'll see you. Bye.